No artsy single tears here. Welcome to MsMojo, and today we'll be counting down our picks for the top 10 ugly cries in movies.
Well done! Well done!
Before we begin, we publish new content every day, so be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos.
For this list, we'll be going over the moments in film where actors cried realistically or flamboyantly. Although some of these moments are emotionally affecting, none of them are pretty. Also, because some of these moments deal with important plot details, there will be spoilers ahead.
Finest man in the world, and wherever you was going, I was gonna be there with you because you was my husband.
Number 10, Anne Hathaway, Les Miserables.
I dreamed a dream in time gone by.
This musical stars an ensemble cast, and while many do an admirable job, Anne Hathaway is frequently cited as a standout. Hathaway plays Fantine, a factory worker who is fired from her job and forced to sell first parts of her body, including her teeth, before turning to prostitution.
The pain won't last. You'll still be able to bite.
Use the black ones.
Her increasingly desperate life boils over into a solo song, I Dreamed a Dream, where she laments her broken dreams.
He took my childhood and destroyed.
Hathaway's vulnerable performance and barely controlled emotion helped earn her an Academy Award, and while the moment is hard to watch, it's hard to look away too.
No. Life has killed the dream. I dream.
Number 9, Tom Cruise, Magnolia.
I'm not gonna cry. I'm not gonna cry for you.
Although Tom Cruise is generally known for his work in action films, he's also done some surprisingly dramatic work as well. In Magnolia, Cruise plays Frank Mackey, a motivational speaker who is resentful of his dying father for not going to see his mother when she was dying.
You were in a lot of pain. She was in a lot of pain.
Although Frank affirms that his father won't make him cry, and he begins his one-sided conversation by insulting him repeatedly, Frank gradually breaks down, begging his father not to go. Cruise plays Frank's fraying, conflicting feelings perfectly, and his performance here is arguably one of his finest. Number 8, Brad Pitt, Seven.
And what I've done is going to be puzzled over and studied and followed forever.
Yeah.
This thriller follows a pair of detectives, William Somerset and David Mills, played by Pitt, pursuing a serial killer who murders his victims using imagery of the biblical 7 deadly sins. The killer, known only as John Doe, leads the detectives out to an isolated location and has a box delivered to the spot.
Put the gun down. I saw you with the box. What was in the box?
Because I envy your normal life.
Put the gun down, David.
It seems that envy is my sin.
Oh, what's in the box?
This box contains the head of Mills's wife, in a bid to goad Mills into killing him to complete his set. Pitt's performance vacillates between grief at the deaths of his wife and unborn child and his growing resolve to murder Doe, leading to a very unique and memorable ugly cry.
Oh, God! Oh, God! Oh!
Number 7, Matthew McConaughey, Interstellar.
I met another girl, Dad. I really think this is the one.
In Interstellar, Matthew McConaughey plays Joseph Cooper, an astronaut on a mission to find a new home for humanity due to deteriorating conditions on Earth. However, because of the prospective planets being located near a black hole, time passes much slower at their destination.
Hey, Dad. Look at this. You're a grandpa.
Upon viewing the messages he received from his children as they grew up, Cooper breaks down at seeing how much of their lives he has missed and how they feel he's abandoned them. Fighting and failing to keep himself composed in a brilliantly acted ugly cry by McConaughey.
You once told me that when you came back we might be the same age. And today I'm the age you were when you left.
Number 6, Claire Danes, Romeo and Juliet. In this modern updating of a classic tale of star-crossed lovers, there were bound to be a few tears. Due to a tragic series of misunderstandings, Romeo kills himself with poison after believing Juliet to be dead.
Dateless bargain. To engrossing death.
When she awakens from her sleep and finds her lover dying, she's understandably distressed. Claire Danes illustrates here why she's one of the best and most frequent ugly criers in Hollywood. That lip quiver and face scrunch are quintessential Danes moves, and while she's honed her craft since this film, it's still a good ugly cry. Number 5, Laura Dern, Blue Velvet. David Lynch films can get pretty bizarre, and that includes some strange performances.
Jeffrey, what's going on here?
Dern plays Sandy Williams, the daughter of a detective who becomes involved with college student Jeffrey Beaumont after he finds a severed ear. As the two investigate a lounge singer somehow connected to the case, they become involved.
So what do you know about the ear?
Didn't my father tell you not to talk about it?
Yeah, but you brought it up.
However, unbeknownst to Sandy, Jeffrey becomes involved with Dorothy, the singer, as well. Upon finding out, Dern delivers one of the most cartoonish ugly cries ever put on film. Her crying is so overacted that it's become a meme, something Dern herself was surprised to learn. Number 4, Viola Davis, Fences.
And now you want to drag you behind in here and tell me something like this?
Stop it now. You ought to know. It's time for you to know.
Well, I don't want to know, goddammit!
Fences sees Viola Davis playing Rose Maxon, a housewife in the 1950s with an embittered husband, Troy. Upon learning that Troy has been sleeping with another woman and gotten her pregnant, Rose unleashes years of pent-up bitterness of her own at Troy, telling him how she gave up her own dreams and desires out of love for him.
Well, I've been standing with you. I've been right here with you, Troy. I got a life too. I gave 18 years of my life to stand in the same spot as you.
Davis's powerful tirade is delivered through tears and a surprising amount of snot. That's as amazingly acted as it is cringeworthy. As hard as it can be to watch, we can definitely see why she won an Oscar for her performance here.
Don't you think I ever wanted other things? Don't you think I had dreams and hopes? What about my life? What about me?
Number 3, Matt Damon, Good Will Hunting.
It's not your fault. Look at me, son. It's not your fault.
Matt Damon not only co-wrote Good Will Hunting, but he also plays the title character. Will's life begins to change after it's discovered he's a genius, and he begins seeing a therapist, Sean Maguire, with whom he forms a friendship. However, Will's past demons, namely that his foster father physically abused him, lead him to push opportunities for happiness away.
So, what is it, like Will has an attachment disorder? Is it all that stuff? Fear of abandonment?
When Maguire confronts Will about this, he repeats that it isn't Will's fault, until he breaks down and sobs uncontrollably.
It's not your fault.
It's the kind of desperate pent-up release that you get when you let something you've been holding in out all at once, and Damon doesn't hold anything back.
Oh my God, I'm so sorry.
Number 2, Heather Donahue, The Blair Witch Project.
And it's all because of me that we're here now. Hungry, and cold, and hunted.
Heather Donahue plays a fictionalized version of herself who, along with 2 others, researched the titular local legend. When one of them disappears and Heather finds evidence of his death or injury, she makes an apology video in the middle of the night, tearfully taking responsibility for everything that's gone wrong on the trip.
I'm so sorry.
The camera focuses primarily on her eyes and nose, which is extremely runny, making for one of the most iconic and parodied ugly cries in cinema.
I'm so sorry. This was my interview. My story. It's all my fault.
It's a great moment of pure distilled terror, even if it does make us want to give her a tissue, or 10.
I'm gonna die out of here.
Before we get to our weepy number 1 pick, here are a few cries too ugly to leave out.
Hey, Stella! Hey, Stella!
don't know. I feel really weird. I'm sick. I'm having a panic attack.
Number 1, Tobey Maguire, Sam Raimi's Spider-Man trilogy.
Over here, Uncle Ben.
Peter Parker / Spider-Man is played in this trio of films by Tobey Maguire. Everyone knows Spider-Man's origin story by now, how his Uncle Ben died, passing on to Peter how great power means great responsibility too.
Remember, with great power comes great responsibility.
Maguire's tearful performance upon finding his uncle murdered is still one of the better versions of the scene. However, Maguire tends to ugly cry frequently throughout the trilogy, which has led the actor's scrunched up face to become a frequent meme and the subject of mockery. We can see he puts his all into these moments, but on the other hand, he does look a little goofy. Do you agree with our picks? Check out this other recent clip from MsMojo and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.